YouTube, it's Alicia here. Hope everybody is having a great day. None other. I am finally back and I'm here to give you a wrestling talk. So with this wrestling talk, we're going to be talking about Charlotte Flair and why people don't call WWE out on their bias when it comes to Charlotte Flair. So without no further ado, let's get started. So I think everybody knows who Charlotte Flair is. But for some of y'all who are just joining my wrestling talk, let me give you a little insight who Charlotte Flair is. Charlotte Flair is the daughter to the legendary Ric Flair. Yes, she's the daughter of the legendary Ric Flair's the baddest in the game and stuff. So she debuted on the main roster in 2015, but she made her NXT debut, I think, year before in 2011 or 2014. 2014, 2013, right up in there somewhere. Excuse me, y'all. And so she won. If for y'all don't forget, she is a two-time NXT Women's Champion. She has held it 2 different occasions. She's a one-time Divas Champion. She's a 6-time Raw is War Women's Champion, and she's a 7-time SmackDown Women's Champion, and she's a 2-time Tag Team Champion. When she held the Tag Team title, she held one reign with none other, Auska, and another reign with Naomi. Okay. That is that. Now, I wanted to come and talk about Charlotte Flair because, one, we all as wrestling fans and content creators need to be considering how Charlotte Flair since 2015 and also 2014, we're going to have to add that into how she's been positioned in the company. I didn't have time to go and look at everything from when she was on NXT, but I'm going to be talking about from 2015 to now in 2025. Okay, as y'all know, Charlotte Flair just came back and she won the Women's Royal Rumble. So if any of y'all are following me from my old channel, y'all know the deal is Charlotte Flair is a love-hate thing with me when it comes to WWE. And for years, I have always called WWE out on their bias when it comes to Charlotte Flair, especially towards the favoritism. And I always had said this when it was with Vince McMahon and now with Triple H. I see favoritism when I see that. Half of y'all might not see it, but I see it. And I want y'all to consider, look how they position her versus how they position others. Look how they position her versus how they position others. And think. My thing is the following. It's not that I don't like her and stuff. It's just, I'm just sick and tired right now of seeing her being... Let me see how I can say it. I'm sick and tired of seeing her position in the women's title belt contention. Because I always have said it, Charlotte Flair doesn't need, and let me say, doesn't need a title just to be featured. And I haven't seen none of y'all fans call it out. And I always had said when it was Vince McMahon there, I could tell he was favoring her. And to me, I just felt like, oh, she's only positioned where she is in WWE is because, one, she's the daughter of Ric Flair. and she's highly positioned. I'm not doubting her wrestling skills, but I do call out Charlotte Flair fans when they say, oh, she's better than Becky. Oh, she's better than Trish. Oh, she was better than Sasha Banks ever was. Excuse me? Excuse me. I can actually say some of Charlotte Flair's good matches that she has ever done was with Sasha Banks. And Sasha Banks took her to her limit. Let's put that there. Sasha Banks has took her to her limit. And I don't get why every time Sasha Banks comes close, and I have to call this out back, this goes back into the infamous Sasha Banks versus Charlotte Flair for the women's title belts for the last few couple of times, for those title belts, for those women's titles. Because if you remember, when Sasha comes close to winning, she ended up losing because of this man's bias. And I'm saying it again, it's now looking like the same thing when it comes to Triple H, the Triple H bias. And we're not seeing the right women being featured. This is the problem in the women's division. Y'all don't like when I tell the truth, but hey, I'm telling the truth. And I always have said, watch how they do Charlotte Flair. Watch how they do these women, because we're going to get where it was just always that. Now, let me just give you the info. Two of my best matches I remember Sasha Banks matches was with Charlotte Flair, was mixed tag team matches. Say it again. Do I need to say it again? Sasha Banks and Charlotte Flair get very ruthless matches. Will have to be mixed tag team. And I'm going to give you two of them that I liked it. One was when Sasha teamed up with Enzo Amore. It was Sasha versus Enzo Amore, versus Enzo Amore versus Charlotte Flair and Chris Jericho. Sasha Banks teaming up with Roman Reigns, who was U.S. champion at the time, versus Rusev and Charlotte Flair, with Alana on the outside of the ring. Yeah. Now, which one of those is my top favorite? Because this is my favorite male wrestler, I'm just going to have to say Roman Reigns and Sasha Banks versus Charlotte Flair and Rusev. Y'all going to have to admit that was the best match when it comes down to it. Best match. Come on. Sasha is pinning Charlotte Flair, and just to keep the 3 count, a jump over spear by Roman Reigns. Come on, that was the best match that has ever been done. Then my other complaint with Charlotte is I was so happy, has a lot to do with why Sasha had to, every time Sasha win titles, and we're going to come back and talk about this, and we need to talk about it, when Sasha was still in WWE. So be ready for that video coming next week. But all I'm saying is, y'all need to look on this, and then let me talk about a few they could have did, and they never worked it. Okay, I talked about this on one of my old channels, and it was the Charlotte Flair versus Sarah Logan storyline. Okay, Sarah Logan at this time, she didn't have didn't have a gimmick, but we knew she was like associated. You know, her husband is part of a tag team, the Viking Raiders now. But at the time, y'all could have had something huge between Charlotte Flair and Sarah Logan. Y'all, we only got a 2-week feud with this. 2 weeks. Now, on both of those matches that they had against each other, Charlotte Flair won. You could have at least gave her a 1 loss let her lose to Sarah Logan so Sarah Logan can have something. Did you do that? No, you couldn't do that. And this was under Vince McMahon. Y'all, I'm going in. I'm giving y'all stuff. Because I'm remembering a lot of stuff. My family don't call me TV queen for nothing. Hello. So I'm just saying, think about it. And you did a 2-week feud between Charlotte Flair versus Sarah Logan. Between those two matches that we got from both of them, why we did not get a full-on feud with that? Y'all could have pulled that. And then y'all could have been transforming Sarah Logan during this time to Valhalla or to the Queen of the Vikings or something with her. And then you would have had Queen Charlotte versus Queen of the Vikings. I mean, when she was doing that. And I promise y'all, that could have been something we could have got. But did we get that? No. Now, let me talk about another person when it comes to Charlotte. It will have to be. Now, some of the good feuds I will say Charlotte do have is with Auska. I remember, y'all know, Auska had that undefeated streak. And she won her first women's Royal Rumble. And she was going to go up against Charlotte. But I said, finally, somebody can go up against Charlotte and stuff. Why would they have her lose her winning streak against Charlotte? Can y'all explain that? Yeah, I'm bringing all of the wrongs when it comes to Charlotte. Therefore, none of y'all didn't question it. Why I was only one on Twitter to question that, and I still question that to this day. Why did Auska have to lose her winning streak against Charlotte Flair, who beat her? I don't think that should have happened. Y'all, we can all agree to disagree on that issue, but that's one thing. Okay. When it was Becky Lynch, let's get on Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch versus Ronda Rousey versus Charlotte Flair. For both, the Raw is War Women's Champion, who Raw is War Women's title belt that none other Ronda Rousey held, and the SmackDown Women's title belt. Oh, that Charlotte Flair hold it. Now, if y'all remember, that was the first time ever that we had a women's to main event. And let me say, main event, WrestleMania. And if you remember, Becky won both belts. The SmackDown Women's title belt and the Raw is War Women's title belt. She was known as Becky Two Belts. But Becky started calling Charlotte out for things. And that was something that I liked about Becky, and I still like Becky to this day. All I'm saying is, when it comes to certain things, y'all need to be looking at these matches. Do y'all remember the time that Charlotte Flair weaseled her butt when Charlotte Flair weaseled her butt into a 3-way match between Charlotte Flair versus Becky Lynch versus none other Raw is War champion, Auska. Well, not Auska. And Charlotte Flair and Becky was champion. And Auska ended up winning the title because of the interference from Ronda Rousey. Yeah. If you don't remember that, I'll give you some links down below. But yes, Charlotte Flair has weaseled herself in some of Becky Lynch's matches. 2 so far I just mentioned, she weaseled herself in. We wouldn't have Becky 2 belts if Charlotte Flair did not weasel herself into the match. 2 occasions, she weaseled herself into title belts. Now, let's talk about belts being handed to her when she comes back from injury leave. And I can name 2. Who remember Raquel Gonzalez versus Rhea Ripley for the women's title belt for Raw is War. Now, this was when Vince McMahon was still at the helm. And so it was a match between Rhea Ripley versus Raquel. And Rhea Ripley contained her title. This is after the match. And I remember this to this day. Who music plays? Then Charlotte Flair comes out, challenged Rhea Ripley for the title. Rhea loses the title in 10 minutes to Charlotte Flair. Was that a fair outcome? Come on, y'all could not wait until next week to do that? Boom. No. But now I'm finna get to some real good ones. Okay, the good one effect right here that nobody talks about and nobody don't like to complain about. Saying it was good. It was like it needed to be done. It needed to be done. I don't think at this time it should have been done. It was Bianca Belair versus Io Sky, and Bianca lost the title belt to Io Sky thanks to damage control. I'm just saying. And the night of celebrations, before Bianca can go to Adam Pearce and ask for a rematch, what happens? Oh, who comes out and confronts Io Sky? Then none other Charlotte Flair. Now, Charlotte Flair had a couple of months battle to try to get that title until she got the title. All I'm saying is, you look how they position her. I've been saying this for years. The way that Charlotte Flair is positioned is shame. And let's talk about this recent Royal Rumble. So let's talk about the 5 girls that was left in the Royal Rumble this year. Before Charlotte Flair went. So we have Charlotte Flair, Nia Jax, Maya Yim. We have Piper Niven, and we have Roxanne Perez. Out of all 5 of these girls, you have 3 that y'all could have went banked on. Let's talk about it for a couple of minutes before I end it. We have 3 we could have banked on. Y'all could have banked on Piper Niven, Chen, aka Maya Yim, and Roxanne Perez. Came down to Charlotte Flair and Roxanne Perez. Why did y'all give that to Charlotte Flair? Y'all predetermined that, Triple H, because, oh, Charlotte Flair's coming back. Let's give that back. Since she's coming back, let's give that to her. Why y'all could not give it to Roxanne Perez? That could have been an opportunity for y'all to do. And that's that. You didn't. But let me just tell y'all before I end. I really do believe it is some favoritism when it comes to certain male or female superstars of legends. I do think there's also about Bronson Breakker, but I'm going to talk about that at a later date. But all I'm saying is we need to wake up. The way that Charlotte Flair is positioned in WWE, the way that Triple H positioned her, and the way Triple H positions her now, we see we're going to keep getting her in title contention. She don't need a title to be featured. Let me say it again. Charlotte Flair don't need a title to be featured. And some of y'all on Twitter just like, oh, she needs a title to be featured. No. Do I think they are overlooking several other females just to push Charlotte Flair? Yes, I do. Do I think they are intentionally making other females lose because they want to put Charlotte Flair over? Oh, yes. So we need to look at it. Oh, think about the women who has faced Charlotte Flair since 2015 until now in 2025. Think about it. Look how These certain women could have beaten her, but didn't. From Tamina, the daughter of the late Jimmy Fly Snuka. Natalia, the daughter of Jim the Kniveville Neidhart. And stuff. 2 legendary daughters. And I'm going to come back and talk about these 3 at a later date. But all I'm saying, the way that they did Sasha Banks for so many years. The way they do Becky Lynch. Before Becky Lynch started being that. Alex Bliss. Maya Yim. I always say it. The way that they do Maya Yim is crazy. We'll come back and do a part 2 video on that. But all I'm saying is, look how they make Charlotte Flair go up against these other girls, but make the other girls make Charlotte Flair look good. When it's going to be Charlotte Flair's turn to make the other females look good. Charlotte Flair has never lost a title belt. Unless it's a non-disqualification match or a non-title match. That's the only time. And I'm just saying, excuse me, y'all. We have never seen Charlotte Flair lose any matches. And y'all have to see it from my perspective. Charlotte Flair is being highly featured. It's highly featured. She's always in title contention. It's because how she is positioned. And if you look how Triple H does title belt opportunities now, he has a certain type of female he likes to push. Big boobs and blonde. Big boobs and blonde. Same thing with same thing with Vince McMahon. Big boobs and blonde in a certain body type. I'm seeing it. I'm saying it. They have a certain type of females. Vince McMahon and Triple H together has a certain type of female they like to push, and they are blonde. They're blonde headed. I don't have nothing against any females that are blonde, but all I'm saying is Vince McMahon and Triple H has a type. A female they like to push and think. But I'm going to leave the question to y'all. Do y'all think it's favoritism when it comes to Charlotte Flair? And do you think other females are being overlooked because of Charlotte Flair? And do you think it's a, let me see how I can say. We just had the presidential election. It's kind of political when it comes to the women's division and who gets title belt opportunities. And let's ask ourselves, why did Triple H bring in these 3 new title belts? The Intercontinental title belt, the U.S. title belt, and that women's speed title belt. Think about why he originally did it. That's something we need to ask. Y'all, that's all I have time for. I'm Alicia. Don't forget to thumbs up this video, comment below, and subscribe to my channel. Bye.